So this is there's something called the doorway effect. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, so psychologists call it the doorway effect, yeah? It's people tend to reveal their true feelings in the last 5% of a conversation. So people will usually unload emotional truths right as they're about to leave or say goodbye.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're leaving.
All right, so you'd have to put up with it.
Well, it depends.
You go, fuck you, I hated you, I always fancied your brother, bye.
Yeah, but it could be, I really love you. It could be...
And then bye.
Yeah. So like, I think it's a way of protecting yourself, your emotions, from potentially their response, or not having too much of a deep conversation about what you're saying.
Yeah.
It can go two ways. It can be positive or negative, or it could just be a little bit uncomfortable or awkward for you naturally. But I think it's quite interesting because, also in arguments, you're leaving the argument, people start saying fuck you, or start calling certain names and
You're just like your father. Poosh, gone.
It's just, that's when clearly when the kind of the truth comes out. Do you get me? So I love that. Like when I heard that, I was like, that's mad.
Do you think it's truth or is it just a spite?
It could be anything. But I think there's truth behind it. I think there's always truth behind it. And sometimes I think when you're spiting someone, you're saying something because you know that they either think it or it's been told to them before,
it's gonna hurt them.
Feel it. Yeah.
It's hurt them.
So I think I think that's quite interesting because naturally I think saying that and hearing it now when you have a conversation with someone that may get a little bit deep just before the end, you're gonna really think about what they're saying.
Because that's the honest.
Potentially.
That's mad.
It's a good one, isn't it?
That's mad.
This one's funny, yeah? And it's called the mere exposure effect, yeah? And it's you can develop a crush on someone simply by repeatedly seeing their face. Quite obvious, really. This one, I'm like, that's like, for me, it's even natural feelings can turn into attraction purely from frequent exposure.
Yeah.
Workmates.
You know what?
Work wives, work husbands, bro.
I was gonna say that.
That's the first thing I thought of.
That's the first thing I thought of.
And if you think about it, that's only one aspect. There's the emotional aspect, the connection, the relationship aspect.
Yeah.
And that's why that work husband, work wife is a real thing, man. You can have you could end up like just meeting someone for the first time, you just start a job, whatever. 2-3 years later, you could have a mad deep connection with that person and you could actually have major feelings for them.
Yeah.
The amount of people that I know have got together through being at work, I think it's something like 10 to 20% of people.
I got together with a couple of like longer term girlfriends from work. With me,
it's a high percentage of people that actually start dating.
And also, that's who you see every day.
100%.
And some people, and hear this. This is another take on that. Maybe that you might not have thought of because it does. But for someone like me, if you're the kind of person like me, from me in my 20s, 30s, whatever. I wasn't the kind, I'm still not the kind of guy that when women see, they just go, oh my God, he's so gorgeous.
You got to let that marinate, innit?
I'm one of those people that I grow on people slowly, attractiveness wise. So when it's like, when it was in a workplace, it's slowly. Because if you look a bit different, like when you look like me, someone like me, just the way I look different now than I did, when I was younger. But someone like me, you don't know what to make of me straight away. So if you saw me, you'd be like, is he going to be a tough guy? Is he going to be foreign? Sometimes I hear my voice and I didn't expect the voice to come out. Is he going to be this ultra religious guy? He looks like some mad Islamist. They don't know what to make of me. So, but I think I think the response I get from women more often than not, if I'm out, if I'm dressed well and I'm well kept and I've done everything right and I'm looking the best I can look, Because if I'm not looking the best I can look, I don't get any. I'm not even acknowledged as a male. Do you know what I mean? I don't even get acknowledged. But if everything's good, head shaved, beard's good, nice suit on, nice clothes on, I think that the reaction I usually get from women is not, oh my God, I want to have his babies. It's more like, oh, he's a bit different. He's a bit unusual. But he seems...
But that can work in your favour.
Oh, it's usually in a good way. So I get that. He's a bit different. He's a bit... This curiosity. I think that's the emotion that maybe I project, like attract. But it's more like a bit different. So at work it's good because my work girlfriend that
I've got the time to...
She said it to me. She goes, I was a bit scared of you at first. I didn't think you liked me. You look very serious. But then something might happen. I think one day I did something and she realised it was one day she was... This is years ago. I ended up with her for many years. Still a good friend of mine. She's married, she's got kids. We still chat every now and then. I make sure she's all right and whatever. But like, she was like, you did something. One day she was having a bad day. We worked in a call centre. So I think she had a bad call or someone had shouted something. And I just walked over to her and I was just like, you cool? Why don't you go out and just take a minute? I did something that was, for me, is just a responsible thing as someone who sees someone upset. Just like, I wasn't doing anything special. But for her, she really took that as, oh, he doesn't hate me. Oh, he's actually a really nice guy. And she goes, that's the day that I kind of changed looking at you the way I did. But that took months.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you're the kind of guy that is not immediately attractive to women, that's...
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but if you're the kind of guy who doesn't get that response from women, that immediate
you
kind of...
need more time, and then you won't get the opportunities where it's like a cold call, I would call it, where
you're not going to get that in the club. Unless you see them in the club,
you're not going to get
every week for a year.
Yeah, you're the only way your opportunities will really come up if you're that kind of guy
is if you're in the workplace.
Yeah.
Or
by long term, you're going to need exposure. You're going to need long-term exposure or exposure for a certain amount of time.
And that's how I used to do it. When I got a bit older, it got different. But that's because I changed a little bit, my look changed, I got in better shape, whatever. But like when I was a bit younger, that was the way. But also it's either that or another way that can happen in a very similar way is retail. You go to the same shop every morning, you see the same girl. Or you work in a shop and the same customer comes in and you build up. But it's either way, it's a similar...
Someone like that has to put themselves in quite common, regular social positions in order to expose who they are.
You join a jiu-jitsu class. You join a
yoga class, a running club.
It's over time.
Lads, come on, think about these things.
Because not all guys have that.
That
response from women.
That cold call.
I'm one of those guys.
Out of nowhere.
Some guys we know. When you're out. The girls are all over them straight away.
Yeah, but there's some guys and girls, they look the part and then they start speaking and people get to know them and then they're like, actually,
whole different thing.
Dead.
Whole different thing. But by that time, they've already had sex.
Sometimes, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But
well, sometimes, because that's when places like a club or whatever is the best places for them, because
I don't think I've ever pulled a girl in a club. I may have got a number once, but it didn't go anywhere. But I've never had that effect on women.
But have you tried? You're saying you may have got a number once. Did you go clubbing much? You didn't really.
Not really.
But when you did, would you ever make a move?
I didn't really do clubbing like that. But like, say any situation where it's a one-time thing, when we're out or like you're with your boys in a park and you see a group of girls, but that kind of approach where you try and talk. I was always comfortable talking to women, but I've always been comfortable around women. My problem was never I was shy around women. I was raised by a lot of women. I've been around women a lot in my life. I was raised in a big family, so I was always around women. I've always been comfortable, but I was not the kind of guy that had the response. Women used to like me. Women have always liked me, but they've liked me as a friend. Yeah. They've always liked my character because I've always been respectful.
Personality.
I've always been respectful, and I think I was too much of a nice guy.
But this is the thing for me. Now,
I was a nice guy.
And now, what I believe guys like that should be is clearly you have something that is attractive about you and what people value. You can't let everyone access that.
Yes.
So, okay, you want to be my friend. Okay, no offense, but what am I getting out of this friendship? Nothing. You're getting a lot more than I'm getting out of this friendship. And actually, I would rather be in a relationship with you. So I'm going to actually put that friendship.
But those kind of nice
at arm's
guys
length.
can't talk like that. That's why they're nice guys. If you're a good man, you can talk like that. So when I evolved from a nice guy to a good man, it's different. Good men can be very respectful, but they've got boundaries, and
They limit their access.
and you're not trying to, how can I put it? A lot of nice guys try and friendship their way into a relationship. They try and be their friend and work their way in like that. Whereas good men and just direct guys, they're a little bit more direct, and they're not trying to finesse their way into a girl's relationship by trying to pretend, oh no, we're just friends, we can just be friends. Unless they're trying it as I'm not talking about those guys that find out a girl's married and like, oh, let's just be friends. We're not talking about that. But guys that are legitimately trying to friendship their way into a girl.
Yeah.
Whereas a good man, like, I stopped getting friend zoned in probably my late 30s. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not because women stopped wanting to friend zone me and
'cause
suddenly, it's just I wouldn't allow myself to be put there. So when I recognised the behaviour and I recognised girls were like, I still want to keep you around, but I don't want to, and I'm like, no, I'm all right, thank you. Do you know I had a girl that I was dating try and then friend zone me?
While you were dating?
Yeah, you do. Remember my girl?
Oh, yeah.
She was like, do you mind if we just stay friends for a bit? I need to go and do a few things and we can see in a few years if we can get together again. I was like, but you got me now. So what she's trying to do is like,
Put you
I've
to the
got
side.
you.
Just want to see what else is there
100%.
before I come back.
So I was like, hang on. You want me to now just be friends with you, still meet up with you every couple of weeks, every few weeks, go out for the next, 5-10 years while you go out and do what you want to do. And then that's not even on the promise that in 5 or 10 years you will be with me. It's on the promise that in 5 or 10 years you'll revisit it and see if now you're attracted to me. I was like, no, I'm all right, thanks.
That's crazy.
I was like, all right.
That's crazy.
And she couldn't understand why I wouldn't do it.
But that's because of you, though. You made her think that that was actually okay.
Maybe.
She would never come up with that idea if she thought you'd be like, what? She actually thought she could probably convince you that you would go with that.
Now, do you think that's because the
she
way
wouldn't
I
do that
was?
otherwise.
Or do you think that's what she's done with other men and she assumes that I'll be
Both.
the same? Because I don't think
Both.
I gave her that impression that I would
It's
do
both.
that.
It has to be both.
So you think even though I didn't do it consciously, she must have thought that she could do that with me?
Has to be a bit of both because she didn't want to lose you. So she doesn't want to put herself at risk in losing you. So she would rather maintain whatever she has to maintain to a certain extent to keep you around.
Yeah.
Now, if she thought having certain conversations would put you in a situation where you'd be like, no, she would rather not have that conversation and she would have found a different route around it.
Or, and I agree with that, that could
Do you get
possibly
me?
happen. But how about this as well? Could she be she didn't really want to be with me, so she was just saying, look, we'll just hang around and we'll see. Maybe she just didn't even
If a
want
girl don't want to be with you,
but she still
most of the
knows
time-
but she still knows you're a safe option. She don't want to lose you totally. Because you're the guy she should be with, not the guy she wants to be with. So she's still keeping you there because she likes the attention.
yeah. So they'll do what they need to do to keep you around. That's what I'm saying. But
Because I
if
didn't
they
stay,
know
'cause I
that
didn't
you're
stay
not
around, I
staying,
went,
and that's a problem for her.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
went-
why she was like, what? No.
and then she was on the...
Yeah, because
She was
because
chasing
for
me for a
me, it's like she wanted you to stay around. It doesn't matter on what aspect.
Yeah.
Even if it's a once a week catch up, she wanted you to stay around.
Yeah, 100%.
But the fact that you weren't willing, it was like, okay, it's either this or nothing.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, damn, that's not the plan. That weren't the plan.
No, 100% not.
And that's why all of a sudden we're seeing effort that we've never seen before.
Yes.
Do you get me? If she thought that would be your response, she would not have come out with those thought processes. She would have thought about it and come out with something else that she would know that you would accept.
Yes.
So maybe because of her history and her experiences with others and how she felt you came across, maybe she thought this will also work with him.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
And it may have worked if it was a year earlier, or 2 years earlier.
Yeah,
But
different
at some point, you open your eyes and you're like, nah, that's not right.
I think a lot of men, most men that I've spoken to, there's some that I've spoken to that say they haven't, but
Bro,
most men that I've spoken to have been friend zoned or.
It's happened to me.
Yeah,
I think that I kind of started to chat girls up and quite early. So for me, I would say it happened quite early, which was good because then you kind of get through it earlier.
Yeah.
But it don't mean that I ain't been schooled and played later on, because I have. But sometimes you get schooled and played in other ways, and sometimes the outcome is even worse.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that understanding the game is better earlier sometimes, because then you end up getting into deeper or more serious things later on, which there's higher risk. Do you get me? So, and I feel like when you have the confidence and the experience, you think that you know things. You feel like you know the game, but you never really know the game. You never really know the game.
Or even if you do, you can still lose.
You could still lose.
You can be in sports for 40 years and still lose a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But like you said, it's about not giving all of your good qualities to the wrong people. But our talk was about the mirroring and over time with people. And I think that is definitely the way that men, if we come out of this episode with any advice, I suppose, for men, if you're the kind of guy that doesn't garner that kind of response from women that is like an immediate women are falling for you, or women find you particularly physically or sexually attractive straight away, you don't have that kind of striking impact on women, the way you're going to get women, really, a good chance for you is to be there all the time and build up slowly.
To your strengths.
Yeah, build slowly. So it's going to be someone that you work with or join like outside activities.
I know some guys, their personality is really attractive and fun for women. And they struggle with like the cold calling or the one-offs, or like they struggle with that. Well, stick to your strengths. Put yourself in a position where you can expose yourself to a female or women that you find attractive on a regular basis in order for them to actually get to know who you are.
Yeah, join an activity. That's a great way to do it. Join a running club, join a sports club, join like a jiu-jitsu class, a Muay Thai class, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys there, and sometimes the girls that are in there are a bit groupified for the guys. But like a running club is different, or go to a gym. But like you say, do stuff. Join a book club.
Yeah, if you like reading.
Even if you don't like reading, if you just like girls, join a book club. Like if you want to meet...
It's true, because you can still read and you can build your education up at the same time.
Yeah, there's loads of little things where people go, like, go to places where there's lots of girls and they feel comfortable, because then they'll be more comfortable around you. So join like girl activities and stuff. Join a yoga class. But don't make it obvious that you're there just to find girls. Go there to enjoy the company and learn to be confident around women. But a lot of guys don't get that response from women. So don't think that you're unusual or that you're weird. It's actually the guys that get the kind of reaction from women when women fall at their feet. That's unusual. The norm is that women don't find a lot of men attractive. It takes them a while to grow on someone, because women's initial reaction is not to find a lot of men attractive. That's why they don't swipe whichever way it is, left or right. They don't swipe on guys on dating sites. They only swipe, I think, 5 to 15% of the time on guys. So out of every 100 guys they see, 95 of them they'll think are ugly, even if they're presented to them straight away. That's the ones that are even thought of as men. That's not in the street, which will be a higher percentage of men they don't even understand, acknowledge as men. So it's the guys that are like getting that kind of response from women, where women are just like, oh my God, he's so great. That's unusual. Like, you are the usual, you are the norm, and that is women don't find you attractive straight away. So just be in a situation where you're surround them and just be yourself, and just project your best things first, but just don't be a nice guy. Don't be a wet wipe. Don't like pander, and be kind, be gentle, be a gentleman, but do it with purpose and authority. Don't do it out of a desperation or a begging, because women can smell desperation on men. They can smell men that don't get a lot of girls.
Yeah.
You can be a good man with boundaries and still be a very gentlemanly, be very kind to women, without being simpish, I suppose the word, that's what the kids are using now. You know, just being a wet wipe, you know. But, you know, ladies, tell us as well, do you like men over time a bit more? Does it take a while for guys to grow on you? And what sort of, have you had situations where you've dated a guy that you wouldn't usually go for in a like a cold calling setting, as Kix calls it, like where you just meet someone in a club, but because you're around them a lot, maybe they were like a friend of the family, it might be your brother's friend, it might be, that's another thing, like when you're around like your friends or whatever.
That's also, I think that's like the second most common way of finding your
friends,
spouse,
or
after the workplace. It's the workplace, and then it's through
family
friends
and friends.
Yeah.
So have you ever dated a guy that initially you wouldn't have found attractive, but because you were just around them a lot and over time the attraction grew? Is that something that's happened to you? I'd be interested to hear it.